on this computer. Share my screen. Share. PowerPoint. From start. Okay. Bonjour, my Ghanaian sisters.
Bonjour.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you to Sena first to organize this and for you to be here to listen to me share my passion. Okay? So who am I? I am an engineer, MBA. I have what certification, the 25 years, it doesn't matter. I have a big heart. The reason I'm doing this work is to ensure that nobody goes through what I have gone through and no child goes through what I have gone through. So this is what is the most important, not all the degrees and all. Major disclaimer, I am very passionate about what I do, so I am going to make certain statements with a lot of confidence. However, I am not a medical doctor. So if you are taking medication and you want to apply what I have said, please talk to your doctor. Don't sue me, and in case I don't have money. And
I like the disclaimer.
actually, in the disclaimer, don't sue me. I don't have money, so you're wasting your time. Okay, so in the next hour here of exchange, I would like to make it an exchange. I'll share with you what is lifestyle medicine, success stories of lifestyle medicine, the challenges, and leave you with a little bit of tips and tricks. So I think we've dropped Mabel. We'll give you a few seconds to reconnect.
I'm here. I haven't gone.
Okay. So, not Mabel, yeah. I'm sorry, Sena. I love your name, Mabel.
Oh, I'm here.
I have a tendency to, Sena is
I'm here.
So here are the shoulders.
Yes, I'm here.
On which I am standing tall to say everything I'm saying with the confidence that I have. Dr. Esselstyn is the only one who is proven that arteries that are closed can be reopened. No medication can do that. He works with Dr. Dean Ornish. They are the two who helped President Bill Clinton not having a second stint, applying the principle of lifestyle medicine. I stand on the shoulder of Dr. Neil Barnard. He's proven with research studies published that we can reverse diabetes. I stand on the shoulder of Dr. Greger, who take all the scientific publication and summarize it so that people like me, I can understand it and I can share that with others. And I stand on the shoulders of Dr. Campbell, who is the one who has put together the largest nutrition study involving human beings. And if you haven't read that book, ladies, I encourage you to get that book, The China Study, and many more. And I pick here the few that are alive, but I am relying on a lot of research of the pioneers. Let me tell you the stories of two sisters, Thérèse and Aou. They have the same gene, same childhood. Thérèse married somebody who was rich, so she has access to meat, chicken, oil, kubmaji, and even, look at that, cakes, white sugar, yogurt, cheese. In Abidjan, cheese. That means Thérèse was living a life of affluence. And to go in her plantation, Thérèse will go in a car. So no more physical activities. Aou, on the other hand, was poor. She barely had money to buy those little tiny dry fish. In the Ivory Coast, we call them aimaklekle. They're small, little tiny with big eyes. So she will use a little bit of that to basically give some flavor to her dish. Today, or a couple of years ago, with that life of affluence of Thérèse, she developed hypertension, where she took medication for 54 years. Hear me. I didn't say 54 days, 54 years, meaning what? Medications for hypertension doesn't heal the hypertension. 54 years on a medication. She developed cancer, stroke, hospitalizations. No matter where you are in the world, medicine is expensive. In the case of Therese, her children were well-to-do, so it didn't ruin them. Nobody could have had, the average person, African, could not have the cost of the medical care that she was having. Meanwhile, her sister Au had some small diseases, cataract, which is the disease of the old. And some he hurt here because she's old. Today, Therese is dead, victim of what we call chronic diseases. So, what are those chronic diseases? I'm going to share the definition of Dr. Katz. He says, there are diseases that take life out of your years. Yes, you're going to continue to live like Therese, 54 years on the medication. But what they don't tell you with the medication is, after the first medication, they have to give you medication for the second medication for the side effects of the first one. And then medication for the side effect of the second medication, and another fourth medication for the side effect of the second one. And then it becomes a vicious circle. You spend your life with medication with a whole bunch of other side effects. But those chronic diseases, here is how I define them. I define them as diseases that take away your daddy. My daddy, when my daddy stand on the floor of the Congress of the Ivory Coast, his peers will get up and will clap for minutes ahead. My daddy didn't write, he calligraphed. At the end of his life, my daddy couldn't talk. My daddy couldn't write because of a nasty disease called Parkinson. I got angry. And then my mom, when she sees me, within 10 seconds, she will come with 10,000 names. Monyini, Afwanyini, Clément Sedini, Madame Roseau, Clama, you name it. My mom wouldn't say my name, wouldn't recognize me because of a nasty disease called stroke and hypertension. I decided that nobody is going to go through what I went through. After my dad passed, I didn't know any better. But when my mom passed, I know now better, and I'm going to talk and ensure that your parents, your friends don't go through the same thing. So those chronic, nasty diseases, what are they called? I believe that when you want to fight something, you have to name them. They are cancer, cardiovascular diseases, obesity, mental illness, depression that we don't talk about in Africa, diabetes, immune problems, dementia, other conditions, and even erectile dysfunction. And the WHO is saying that those nasty chronic diseases are going to increase by 27%. I wish my investment get a 27% increase. Obesity. Obesity is no longer an American problem. Obesity is now an African problem as much as an American problem. I saw people, men, women, children, when I was traveling in Ethiopia at the airport, becoming very obese, just like the American. There are certain diseases that doesn't make it on the birth certificate. Erectile dysfunction. I was looking at the data. The African are seeing 15 to 30% of men now are having erectile dysfunction problems. And there is one disease that they don't talk enough about. It's depression. Ladies and Senna, when we are all set and gone, I want to spend the time talking about depression. This is a nasty disease that takes away life, joy, everything. We will talk about depression. When you look at diabetes, in the US, 1 child born today out of 3 will have diabetes. In Africa, It's growing 55%. And do you know the cost for a business of chronic diseases? We see a 46% of decline in productivity. 46%, meaning if I am a business owner, I am paying people who are delivering 50%. So I am losing money. How did we get here? Look at this. Sugar, 1900, 1 bag per person. Today, 38 bags of white sugar. Brown doesn't make a difference anyway. They're still as nasty. Oil consumption. Let me tell you a story. I went in the Ivory Coast at a party. When they brought the food, you could swim in the oil that was served. Nowadays, people believe that to show that they've made it, they have to serve oil like that, that becomes swimming pool in foods that you eat, which is a shame. Meanwhile, while in the past we were eating a lot more vegetables and plants, today we are not eating enough. And we're drinking sodas. When I go to a party and I see a woman giving soda to a child, between us, the wild side of me, I have to restrain myself because I want to jump on that woman to say, what did that child do to you? When did you decide to hate that child, to give to that child this, which is poison, period. I don't care what it is that they say, this is poison. Look at what's going on. Why don't we talk enough about lifestyle medicine? Because of money. The lobby of meat, eggs, milk, fast food. They are the one who finance political campaigns. And actually, I was talking to somebody as of yesterday who was supposed to help me, put me in touch with some chamber of commerces. He's like, oh, Celine, your presentation talks about fast food and soda. They are the one who are financing the chamber of commerces, so you cannot talk about that. Medical doctors, in their education, they don't have enough hours on nutrition and lifestyle medicine. What they are trained on is to give a pill for absolutely every single disease. I love this picture. Take a few seconds to look at this picture. The faucet is open. The water is flowing, and we are sweeping the floor because we give the medication for the symptoms. And lifestyle medicine said, stop, close the faucet. Next time you talk to your doctor and he gives you medication, you tell him, how long am I taking that medication for? What are the root causes of what I am going through? And educate yourself. And I'm going to summarize that grooming part of the presentation with 3 diseases. Diabetes. Look at the case in China. The more fat consumption is growing, the more diabetes is growing. And here is how Dr. Neil Barnard, who is proven that you can reverse type 2 diabetes, says. Imagine the following. Before you leave home, you have a key and the door key. You put that key in the door key, the hole there, you close it, you go. The key works, the hole works. While you are gone, some little rascals in the neighborhood comes and they put gum in the hole. When you come back, the key is not working anymore. So what does it mean? The keyhole there are your cells. The key is insulin. The gum is fat. So when the insulin take the sugar and trying to go and put it in the cells, he goes and he find fat. So he cannot go and do his job inside the cells. So that excess sugar, glucose, will basically dump it in the body. Meaning what? Sugar in the blood is the consequence of diabetes. But The root cause is the fat that is in our cell from the food we eat and the lack of exercise and all the weight that we gain. Hypertension is what we call the silent killer. It is a nasty one because it doesn't show it's there. And meanwhile, it's destroying your kidneys, it's destroying your brain, it's destroying your arteries. So, women, if you haven't taken your blood pressure lately, go have it, take it. And please buy a high blood pressure and keep it at home. If you have in your family a history of high blood pressure, take your blood pressure every week. If you don't have a history, take it every month, every 3 months. But you have to watch that blood pressure closely. It's not called the silent killer by accident. And here are the things that you want to try to avoid. You want to try to avoid obesity, gaining weight. You want to make sure that your nutrition doesn't have too much salt and is healthy. And you want to also have some physical activities. And you want to avoid certain medication. And those are sleep apnea. And this is the work of Dr. Vivek Bala from Stanford. And I can share that with you guys if you want to see that. A beautiful, actually, piece of work that he did there. And when it comes to our arteries, Dr. Clapper says, if we learn how to protect our arteries, we are 80% ahead of the game. We are every single day, at every single meal, at every single pieces we put in our mouth, we are aggressing our arteries, soda, white sugar, the processed food, the fried food, the cooked animal protein, cigarette smoke, air pollution, the drinks, alcohol, stress, and unchecked hypertension. All of that thing are damaging our arteries because the chronic diseases are not diseases that come suddenly. No, they're built on year after year after year. So they're built on bite after bite after bite, minutes after minutes after minutes, where we sit and we are not doing anything, anger after anger and after anger. So tip number 2, stop aggressing your arteries. Work with them to keep them open and clean. And you can do it. Dr. Esselstyn showed it that we can do it with our lifestyle. Woof! This is the beginning of the year. We thought 2020 with the bad news are gone. And here is Celine, 2021 with more bad news. Are there any hope? And the answer is yes, there is hope. And that hope has a name. The name is lifestyle medicine, where multiple doctors and multiple research have shown that they are perfectly preventable and reversible. So what is it? They say they are basically the pillars. Eat out of plant, keep moving, sleep well, be present, stay calm, love people. Let me put it in French for you. At the end of the day, lifestyle medicine says what you put in your mouth when it comes to food, alcohol, tobacco, unclean drink, certain medication, and even hard drug, what you put in your mind, unforgiveness. And I tell the ladies in the Ivory Coast that now any woman who wants to lose weight and go, it's stress. You have gained right there 100 grams. So stop the stress, okay? What you do with your body, this body has to move. I don't care what you do to make it move. That body has to move. We have to sleep and we have to be in the sun. More and more Africans are not getting enough sun because we are in our homes with the AC. Then we get in the car, from the car to the office. We don't take enough time to sunbathe. And with COVID, the first Black people who were dying, the research is showing that they are deficient in vitamin D. So we have the sun, let's take advantage of the sun. We don't have in Africa to go take pills for vitamin D. We just have to go expose ourselves with as much skin out to the sun as possible to get some vitamin D. And what we call in the jargon, the social determinant of health. If you live in a place where the air is polluted or you have noise pollution, you're going to have some troubles. And lifestyle medicine, like I mentioned, is evidence-based and scientifically proven. Anybody who wants to challenge me, ask me, I'll dump on you all the research. For people in science, when you see this kind of journal, you know that it is serious. We're talking about serious science, not science that is being published by somebody selling some supplement somewhere. The results, ladies, are amazing. Here is my story. I had depression, high blood pressure, cholesterol, gastric acid reflux, and I went from size 6'8" to size 16'18". Yes, I gained plenty of weight. My cholesterol was high. Look at the cholesterol that is on the board here, without medication. Every single day when I started, I will eat good food, yummy food, tasty food. I will drink water. I will forgive. When I fight with my husband, I'll make sure that we talk about that. I'll reduce my amount of stress. I will look at my life purpose. I will pray. I'll work on my relationship every single day. And I did that in partnership with my doctor. Here are the results. Yes, that lady next to the real estate agent was me in 2016. Yes, this is me. But you're seeing me right here in front of you, all good. Look at the skin. Perfect. Without Ghanaian products. This is an Ivorian expression. Sans produit ghanéen. My husband, cholesterol medication, 25 years. Remember, my mom took high blood pressure medication for 54 years. My husband, cholesterol, 25 years. After we changed the lifestyle, within 4 months, they stopped the cholesterol medication. Doctor said, enough. The dude was always having back problems. No more. He had all of his inflammation markers from blood work, checking, everything was bad. Now, things are all good. He was suffering from depression, taking 60, 80 milligrams of Prozac per day. Today, we use between 25 and 30, and we try to work on that to reduce it. We have results. He's preparing for the Olympic Games, and he's going to represent Croatia, so watch out. Together, we lost 100 pounds. Diabetes type 2, Dr. Neil Barnard healed this guy, Vince, who lost 60 pounds, stopped diabetes medication, and Vince told Dr. Neil Barnard, when you share my story, tell everybody there that in the process, I took care of my erectile dysfunction problem. My own personal experience, there is a young Ivorian guy that I coach with the principle of lifestyle medicine at the beginning of COVID. As of November, he has stopped taking any insulin. He was taking 24 units in the morning, 24 in the evening. He is diabetes free. A client losing weight, Bill Clinton didn't get a second stint because we put him onto lifestyle medicine and he's doing okay now. Voila, they lost weight. Voila, look at the skin of this person. Look at how strong you become. You see my muscles? Ah, and I don't lift weight every day. I just exercise a little tiny bit, but you become strong. What do they all have in common? All of the success stories that you're going to see, those people have a plan. Those people are patient. When I interview people who want to work with me, anybody who wants to lose weight in 1 month, and I'm like, no, it's not a program for you. The weight came in 5, 6, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You don't lose it in 40 days. You work on it. You have to be patient, and you have to look beyond the weight. You have to look at all your biomarkers. And those people get education, they got the knowledge, they were engaged in their health, and they collaborated with their doctor, and they developed ability to be successful, and they were serious. So lifestyle medicine, as you can see, involve plenty of things. Usually people have a tendency to talk about food only. So I want to pause here and say it is not just food, it is not just exercise. It involves all the aspect of your life. And I'm going to repeat it, from forgiveness, sleep, being out in the air, your social relationship, your amount of stress, they all contribute. Today, I'll just talk about a little bit of stress and on the nutrition. When it comes to stress, what I tell women is, let's apply the principle of Stephen Covey. He says, identify your zone of influence. Anything outside of your zone of influence, you cannot control. So ladies, you cannot control your children. You cannot control your spouses. You cannot control the traffic. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control other. You can control yourself. So once you start understanding that, you start reducing your stress and leave other people alone. When it comes to food, the nutrition, there are 80,000 edible plants out there with plenty of different colors. And each color on those food has a property for our lives. You divide those 80,000 food in 5 groups. The fruits, so in Africa we have mango, corosol, pineapples, plenty of delicious fruit. You have the grain, your millet, rice, fonio is something that we have in the Ivory Coast. I don't know the name in English, but we have plenty of grains. You have vegetables, and you have your leafy green vegetables and your root vegetables. One tip that I want to give you, start eating as many green vegetables as possible. Not only are they loaded with nutrients, but they don't have much calories in it. So it's good for you, and it doesn't do any damage, and also help with constipation and plenty of other things. And legumes. I don't know in Ghana, but in the Ivory Coast, we don't eat enough. We don't eat legumes. I start eating, in my family, we didn't eat legumes. Your soy, your beans, dry beans, we didn't eat them. Lentils. I ate lentils in the boarding school, and of course, boarding school food, it was nasty. So I have learned to eat legumes when I came in the US, and when I started, actually I started eating legumes when I started this program 4 years ago. And when it comes to food, the food is whole food, plant-based. And I'll explain to you the difference in there. And the advice that we give people is make it a love affair. Start loving the food that love you back. Let's talk about whole food, plant-based, and processing. Here, this is wheat. Have you seen the color of wheat? It's golden, very beautiful. How do we get from this golden color to entirely white? It's processing. And in this process, they've taken all the good things. 86% of the vitamins, 84% of the iron, and 90% of the fiber. No wonder people are constipated across the world, and we do not understand why. There is no more fiber in the food, in foods that are processed. Okay? When people ask me, Celine, is it a vegan program? I tell them no, I am a Christian. I'm Catholic, I am a daily communicant, I go to mass every single day. My Lord Jesus Christ ate fish, he ate meat, he even gave fish to people. So who am I to contradict him? But what I tell people is, I am positive of the following. Jesus didn't eat meat, every single day. He didn't eat animal protein for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. No. And he didn't eat any fish loaded with mercury. He didn't eat lamb, where 80% of the antibiotics that we produce is in the lamb. And he didn't eat it in the awful quantities in which we eat animal protein today. When you go to some families in everywhere, actually, the US, Africa, and all, when you look the amount of meat and chicken that they're eating, it is like, whoa, really? No. So I am not teaching a vegan program. What I am telling people is, if what you eat is on the red side, made mainly of meat, dairy, eggs, processed food, sugar, alcohol, oil, caffeine, I don't have to go to Harvard Business Medical School to tell you you are going to have problems. What we are teaching in lifestyle medicine is to tell people, we want you to migrate to the green, to plant, whole food, plant-based as much as possible. How fast, how far, it's your choice. You have that power, okay? How you do it is one of the things that came to me after my own experience. I put my hat on as an engineer, and I realized it was about a process. People needed a process to be successful, because people seem to say, how do I get started? Doctors, they tell you to do it. Unfortunately, they do not have time. There is 0.2 doctors for 1,000 people in the Ivory Coast, and it must be almost the same number for Ghana. Okay? So it's not the doctor. The doctor can tell you that he cannot do it for you. So what I have done is I have combined my experience, the fact that I worked 25 years in corporate America, I specialize in change management, to develop a process. Here is change. Change is a science where you need awareness, desire, knowledge, and usually any consultant who come to you and talk to you about change, they all stop at knowledge. Let me tell you the limitation. I can give you a book on swimming, okay? You can read that book inside out on swimming, you still won't know how to swim. You have to go to the next level, ability. And in my program, I give you all of that, plus the ability and the reinforcement and the support. And so that program that I developed to help people do only one thing. How do I start? How do I be successful? How do I keep it for the long run so that it become my lifestyle? This is what I did. And it's a program that is done in 7 weeks, 90 minutes a week in groups. Remember, it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Have a plan, have a vision, find people who are experienced to work with. It requires an investment in time and a little tiny bit of money. And no, you do not have to give pleasure, because there is plenty of pleasure in the food. And actually, you're going to get much more pleasure, because once your husband starts doing that, it will boost his libido and boost his sexual performance. Conclusion. Make that transformation about you, because it is your life. It's your health. It's your choice. What you do with it belongs only to you. So you want to be in a community where you are healthy, and you want to have the people in the communities to become healthier, because healthier communities are thriving. So in your family is your first community. Make your family healthy, you'll be thriving. I have talked for how many? A lot, 35 minutes. So I'm going to stop, and it's your time to talk.